Hi, and welcome to the Dirty Cleats podcast. I am Brian Kreitz, and as usual, I have Tim with me, Tim Costigan with me.
Hello.
This is our week for our draft coming up this Sunday for the Grumpy Old Men, the League of Grumpy Old Men. We selected our keepers on Sunday, and probably going to talk a little bit about the our fantasy football draft this week, and probably about it. But what do you think, Tim? What do you think of your keeper?
My keeper?
Yeah.
My keeper is who I did not originally think was going to be my keeper. But I went ahead and kept Sam Laporta, tight end from the Lions, because he's ranked in the top 4 or 5 tight ends, like everywhere, or above. Mm-hmm. And I was going to go Joe Burrow, but the thing that actually made my decision was a couple things. First off, it was when Jake kept Jahmyr Gibbs, so it took another potent Lion off the board instead of me having to possibly pick Gibbs and have Laporta. I didn't want the whole team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the main factor for me was when I saw that the Bengals lines are already shaken up. I mean, You saw what happened to Burrow when they were shaken up last year, and I don't want to test that water.
Yes, I did. Well, I'll give you a little background on our league. It's 10 guys. Most of us have been friends or friends for about 30 years.
We've known each other for a long time, yeah.
My brother Kevin's in it also, so I've known him my whole life and his whole life, or close to it. And then we have Jake. Jake that's in it. He's Alvin's. He's one of our friends, Alvin's son-in-laws. And then we have a friend of Alvin's also, Mark, that plays in the league. But it's basically a league of.
And your friend Devin. Don't forget Devin.
My next door neighbor, or close to next door neighbor, Devin. Neighbor Devin. But we've been doing this league. The first 2 leagues we had under a different name, but we've been doing this. I think this will be our 5th or 6th year, right?
I think this is year 5.
I think you're right.
Because when we were out with Dave the other night, I think he said it was 5.
Yeah, and then
because it was the first winner was
it
Kevin winner of the year 1?
My brother Kevin. Yep.
He beat me in the finals that year, right?
Yep. And then
Kevin, I know Alvin, Dave won, Alvin won, and somebody else. Who am I missing?
The first year Kevin won. The second year, Kevin's brother-in-law Brian won.
He's not in the league anymore.
He's no longer playing.
And then Dave and Alvin.
Yep, Dave and Alvin, and then neither one of us have won it yet. So
that's going to change this year.
Could be. It could be our year.
And it definitely ain't going to be your year.
It could be Fred's. It could be Fred's year. It could be Tony's. It could be anybody's.
If it's Tony's year, hell's freezing over. There's no disrespect.
I hope he doesn't listen. But yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, my keeper was Breece Hall. Very happy to keep him. Actually, I made a trade with you to get him as my keeper. And from what I've seen, with all the people in the fantasy world saying that he's probably the second ranked running back behind CMC, maybe third with Bijan Robinson at second. It just depends on your view, but
yeah,
I'm very happy to start off with a
but who do you think's after that? Like, who do you think after Bijan and Breece? Who do you think's number 4 in your opinion? Because it's kind of tricky there.
Yeah, I mean, wow, you could go with guys like Saquon Barkley.
You could go with Jahmyr Gibbs.
You could go with Gibbs. But he's a smaller guy. I kind of wonder if he gets hurt a lot. He's already got a hamstring issue. So
Jonathan Taylor, possibly.
Jonathan Taylor is probably one of my favorites behind those 3 guys. Behind CMC and Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson. But yeah, probably Jonathan Taylor after that. Yeah, you're right. He slipped my mind there for a second. But then you got Kyron Williams. I mean, after about 6 or 7, it's kind of a toss-up after that. So
it's weird because when you hear things about you see things on Facebook or whatever, do this and you win your league, blah, blah, blah. One guy made a lot of sense. He said, if your third running back, like your flex, is Zach Moss, you got a good shot to win your league. And I think that makes a lot of sense.
The only thing that worries me about Zach Moss is if Chase Brown's going to take time away from him or if Zach Moss is eventually going to be the starter.
Well, I think Zach Moss
I meant Chase Brown is going to be.
You think Chase Brown will wind up being the starter?
Yeah, my mistake. Yeah,
I guess so.
I mean, they said he's been running with the ones a lot, so I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah, going for I mean, you could probably stack your lineup with drafting. Like in our league, we got keepers. So in your first 2 rounds, taking running backs. In my case, if I take 2 running backs, then I'll have 3 running backs, and then my third running back will be my
You'd already have your flex.
Yeah, that would be a strong way to go, but I don't know, man. Like, we got a point per reception league, and, wide receivers are pretty valuable too. So,
well, I did get good news. They said Chad Ochocinco said that he's talked to Chase, and that deal was supposed to get done this week.
I heard that, but how much can you trust?
Well, Ocho knows everything, man. He's Ochocinco.
Sometimes Ochocinco likes to just talk so he can get his name out.
I still think he knows it all.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It's hard to say, but yeah.
Chase's deal will get done.
I hope it does.
Now, CD Lamb, whole other discussion.
I heard that it's possible that he gets his deal done before Chase's, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope they both get done because I don't want those 2 guys taken out of the equation, so I end up having to possibly pick them when I'm picking at number 7 when I don't want to have that problem,
I don't think them guys are going to be there, even with the situations that are going on.
And we'll see.
I see it, especially with Chase, because this is a hometown draft in Cincinnati. So, I mean, 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to take him early. He should be drafted early.
Let's hope so. If you guys are listening, take Chase and Lamb.
but let's
go. Who else? Why don't we just run it down from number 1 to number 10? We've already done you and I.
Yeah. So
Mark is number 1.
All right, you want to go by that way? Okay. Mark is keeping, which his team name is the Chili Dogs. He's going with Drake London from the Atlanta Falcons, wide receiver. I think it's
interesting.
I think it's an interesting pick. A lot of people have Drake London higher than usual because they actually do have a quarterback this year.
That's because they got Cousins and not what's this figure? What was the guy last year?
The dude
from UC.
Yeah. He's with Arizona right now.
Ritter.
Yeah.
Took me a minute to remember his name.
Gotcha. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's, like I said, I think it's a decent pick to keep. But I would have started with probably a running back if that was my option. I don't think in his options he had a running back he could keep. So
the good news is for Mark, he's number 1. So the only problem with pick number 1 is your guy has to live up to those expectations because he has to be the number 1 pick. Yeah. Or if the year finishes out and he's like the 5th or 6th highest ranked guy, then you just basically screwed up 5 or 6 times.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a hard thing to look at. But Christian McCaffrey, he's got to pick him.
Gotcha.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't.
Okay, so I could see CMC going first. I could see Bijan Robinson going first, and
I could never see Bijan Robinson going number 1.
I've seen them in some mock drafts.
Really?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, I got a program that I can run.
No, I believe you. I just don't. I wouldn't do it.
Some people are really high on him this year, but
I like him. I mean, I'm gonna go probably get a running back on my draft, but I just don't. I wouldn't spend that high of a pick on him.
Well, I think the problem also with CMC, you got 2 things going on this year for him. He's 28, which is older for a running back, and you also could possibly have the Madden curse because he's a.
And you also got Brandon Ayuk possibly not playing.
From what it looks like he might sign with San Francisco. Who knows?
I read that too.
Yeah, but I mean, that being if Ayuk's not there, it just gives more opportunity to CMC or that rookie wide receiver they drafted this year too. So
Pearsall, the one from Florida, you're talking about.
Pearsall. Is it Ricky Pearsall? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, Mark's got some choices there. I kind of agree with you. I think he will probably go CMC, but who knows?
The only other person, this is my opinion, honestly, the only other person I would spend the number 1 pick on if I'm not taking Christian McCaffrey, and for me, would be CeeDee Lamb. That's just me, though.
Yeah. Well,
I wouldn't take anybody else for those 2 guys.
Some people would have Tyreek Hill there, but I still think
he would be my number 3.
Really?
Yeah, he would be my number 3. If I was telling you who my top guys were. That's just how I am.
Gotcha. So Tony's got the second pick. Let's move on to the second pick, and his keeper is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and we don't want to say who Tony's going to take at number 2, but inquiring minds already know.
You think it's Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, I don't know. All I can say is cheetah, baby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you know what that? You don't even know what that means.
It's Tyreek Hill. I know what that means.
We'll see.
But he tends to go with some of the older players too, so that wouldn't shock me. So, yeah. I mean, I think he'll go receiver, maybe running back, but I doubt it. That's at the second pick. But no, I don't know. How do you feel about that? You think it's definitely going to be a wide receiver?
I don't want to say what Tony has said to me because that's breaking his confidentiality, but I'm pretty sure it's a wide receiver.
I gotcha. I see what you're saying. All right, so moving on to the third pick, which is Devin. Actually, I meant to say Tony's team also is named Injured.
Yeah. He should change that name. That's just weird.
He's had some bad luck with some teams with injuries, so I think
but change your name to something different. Alvin changed his name to Space Mountain.
Well, because he won the championship finally.
Yeah, he thinks he's impressive now.
I know. He thinks he's a lady.
Hell, we're almost dead. We're almost old and dead, and he's finally winning the title.
I'd say we're halfway through. But, yeah. But Devin's team is Devin. He's never changed it. But his keeper is Rashad White.
I like him.
I've actually, in a PPR league, and that's what we play in. We play in a full PPR league. He doesn't get a lot of rushing yards, but he catches the ball at the backfield a lot.
Yeah.
Of screens and stuff.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
I had him on my board of someone that I was going to take as a running back. But when I looked at the teams of who was keeping, I was off because I thought Mark was going to keep DJ Moore, like me and you had talked about.
I thought he would too.
I didn't think London. I thought London could have been a possibility, but I actually really had a good feeling Devin was going to keep Rashad White. When I saw Purdy pop up on the list, and when it said Purdy, I'm like, really? I was really happy, and all of a sudden you say he's changed his mind. I'm like,
I think he was flip flopping. He didn't really know which way.
Well, Rashad White was the right decision.
I agree.
Devin, if you can hear me out there anywhere in Furniture Fairland, you made the right decision.
Let's see who's got the fourth pick this year. Is it let's see.
Fourth.
Is that Fred?
Fred, yeah. I'm trying to think in my head. I don't have anything in front of me.
Yeah, Fred's got the fourth pick. His team is
what a good keeper he did. Oh, sorry.
His team name is Darth or something. He's a huge Star Wars fan. So
but what a good keeper for Fred, man. That kid's a stud.
Oh, Achan?
Yeah.
Or Achan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call him whatever you want. Just, my God, he's amazing.
He's good. They said he's put some muscle on this year, too. So
he's little, so he's quick. And
the only thing
he plays in that Dolphin offense. I mean,
the only thing that worries me is that he is small, and he also you also got Raheem Mostert there, and then you got another running back they drafted too this year. So Jalen, I can't remember his last name, but so he might be splitting some time with them guys. But
I don't see that really, honestly. He might split a down here or down there, but I mean, he's going to be the primary focus.
I think if he stays healthy, I think he'll be okay. That's the key is him staying healthy, really. So I mean, that's my opinion. But yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with. That's for sure. So, but I like that choice. Actually, it's one of my favorite choices. It's one of my favorite keepers that's been kept in our league. Honestly, I think it's a good choice. All right, so,
I agree.
Moving on to
5 is Dave.
Is Dave our
champion?
Former champion.
Yeah, former champion.
Champion a year or so ago. His team is the Wolverine Warriors.
He likes Michigan. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. What's wrong with him?
He also likes the Bears too. So I mean, he's got.
It's even worse. They have to build a little house, just a real little small house, and put it in between Ann Arbor and Chicago, and just send Dave there.
There you go.
Just leave him there.
There you go.
And the pizza boy that delivers his pizza is from Space Mountain.
Okay,
that's all they need.
Okay. Well, his keeper is going to be C.J. Stroud.
Wow.
That's a nice keeper.
Yeah, good player. But we don't know yet, really. I still got to be another year before I'm going to believe that hype.
I don't know, man. Like, he's got some weapons there. They got Stephon Diggs now.
But what I'm saying, though, is anybody can have one good year. You know what I mean? Agree. If he does it again this year, I believe it. You know, and he's good, but is he as good as we're making him out to be?
But, I mean, hell, that means Bryce Young had a bad year. He could go on to be all-pro.
A stud.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look what happened to Peyton Manning his rookie year. He wasn't as good as advertised, and he didn't.
And look what happened to him. He ended up winning 2 Super Bowls.
I know. So, but anything's possible there. I'm kind of curious. Dave's kind of in that middle spot of the draft in the first round. Actually, through the whole draft because he's in the middle,
up and then back.
I'm kind of curious which way he's going to go.
Dave probably almost at number 5, if he's got the quarterback, has to go running back or receiver, or just has to pick the best available player.
Yeah, I mean, I could see.
I mean, if you got like a Chase sitting there looking at you, and you got a Jonathan Taylor, don't get me wrong, they're both good. At that point, you've got to take Chase. You got to take the better one of the two that you're picking from.
I almost think Amon-Ra St. Brown or Justin Jefferson.
Now, see, this is where I disagree with you on the Bijan Robinson thing.
Okay.
You said that he could possibly be a number 1 pick, right? Earlier on? Yeah. Right. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown could possibly be in the top 3 or 4. I think he'll definitely be gone by 5.
I can see that.
Because he's just so consistent.
No, I mean, like, I could see someone there maybe sliding to Dave.
I don't think he'll make it to Dave.
Well, it's just, an opinion. Justin Jefferson maybe being there because of quarterback.
Well, Justin Jefferson probably will drop because of the quarterback situation is just bad.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson is not, with those quarterbacks, are not going to put up the numbers he put up last year.
He did pretty good with his backup quarterbacks.
You got to remember, though, Green Bay and Detroit and now Chicago, all 3 of those defenses on the teams that he plays twice are all better.
Gotcha.
All better.
Oh, no.
I don't want Justin Jefferson. If I'm number 7 and he's sitting right there, I have to take him because 7 is a good number to get him at, but I don't want that to happen, honestly.
Gotcha. But moving on to the next one, which would be Jake.
Right in front of me, yeah.
State Farm.
The one that's going to make or break my draft.
Yeah, his team is State Farm. Yeah, Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
He's picking 6, and he went with Jahmyr Gibbs.
I like that pick.
I do too. As long as
depending on how severe the injury is.
Well, it's a hamstring injury that he had,
and that could be bad.
They said he should be ready for week 1. So, usually the coach from the Lions is pretty upfront about the injuries and timelines. Oh, I trust what he has to say. He could, but the only thing is, is it going to be? Is he still going to share a little bit with David? What's his name?
Montgomery.
Or
I think Montgomery's still going to get some carries. I think that's going to happen for at least another year or 2 until Montgomery gets older or gets traded or something.
Gotcha. I don't know what his contract situation is with the Lions, but
which one, Montgomery or Gibbs?
Montgomery.
I don't either. He's probably got at least a year or 2 left.
Gotcha. So again, 6 spots.
He went to Mount Healthy in Cincinnati.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, I think he did.
I told you before.
Yeah. You told me. I just slipped my mind. That's all. So he again, Jake's kind of picking in the middle too. And honestly, if I know how Jake picks, he's probably going to take a receiver at that spot.
Yeah, I would think so.
He likes his receivers. He'll load up on receivers.
I think there's a very good chance that Jake could get Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson could be at number 6, and I guarantee you Jake would gobble him up.
Yeah, if Jefferson's sitting there at 6, he's not.
He's going to gobble him up. And I'm going to be happy because I don't want him.
And then we talked about our keepers, but we're going to go in line here. So you're next, and your team is the Hitmen. And give a little insight to your team name. What's up with that?
I love Bret the Hitman Hart, and I like wrestling, that, and I like football, and I kind of like watching hockey sometimes.
Okay.
Because Fred's wife, Kathy, her family's from California near San Jose, and I got a San Jose Sharks hat. I've put it on the podcast. And Hillary and Tom live up in Columbus, so I've gone to Blue Jackets games. So I found that little icon with the guy being the hitman with the little hockey sticks. That's why I put it on there like that.
Gotcha.
And if you're wanting to know who I'm going to take whoever you want right at the last minute. That's my pick.
Can you give us a hint?
Well, I'm going to wait till it's the last minute, and time's almost ready to expire, and I'm going to click who I know you want because you're behind me.
Are you? I understand what you're saying. But position-wise, are you leaning more towards receiver or running back?
I'll say it this way: if one of those, there's like 4 or 5 elite receivers, Chase, even Jefferson, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. If one of those receivers is available, that's who I'm taking. If not, I'm taking a running back.
I gotcha.
Does that make sense? I don't want to take even though I think he's great, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to use my pick at number 7 for Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave when I know it could probably get him in the next round.
I agree.
Or at least most of them, I'm getting, it's either that one of those elite receivers or I'm going running back.
Like an A.J. Brown or something like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Somebody that's worth the pick.
I got you.
I'm not just going to stretch for a receiver. I'm not doing that.
I mean, I think Garrett Wilson's good, but I mean, it depends on, Aaron Rodgers.
But remember, you said we can start multiple tight ends. So if I got Laporta, I can pick another tight end and have 2 receivers instead of 2 tight ends that are receivers.
Would you take?
So I don't really, you know what I mean?
Would you take Kelsey in the first round?
I wouldn't take him in the first round, but I would take him high, probably, if I had the opportunity. Maybe not Kelsey, but you got to remember Andrews, Kittle, they're all good.
Well, you also got the dude from McBride from Arizona too,
and don't forget Dalton Kincaid.
You got Kincaid, yeah. They got
McBride, like you mentioned. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 of them, so I'm not really stressed. So I'm probably going to go with the running back. Honestly, I just think there's just too many receivers to not try to just wait on them.
Oh, I agree. I can understand that. And then my pick is after you at 8. Oh, and my team is the Gotham Knights. I'm a huge Batman fan, so I just
you probably got like a Batman cape you wear to bed, don't you?
No, no, they cost too much.
They cost too much
work.
But you thought about it,
maybe. But I have to wear my CPAP machine too, so it just wouldn't work. So,
right.
But my like I said earlier, my keeper is Breece Hall. I mean, top 3. One of the top 3 running backs in the draft. Depends on what falls to me. And
I'm the same way as you. It's like I don't know yet until I see it when we're there.
Yeah, I mean, I could do a million mock drafts, and I've probably done 100 mock drafts on my little app on the phone with our league settings and everything. But I mean, I know who falls there, but that's a computer and AI.
Yeah, that doesn't know anything. That doesn't know who's going to pick what.
Because, I mean, in a hometown draft, in our kind of a draft, you never know who anybody's going to pick.
I mean, hell, Burrow could go off the board number 4.
I know.
How would you know that?
I mean, Cincinnati League.
I'll tell you one good piece of news for you when it comes to, who I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to be 100% honest with you.
Yeah.
As much as I had him a couple of years ago, and I really liked him, and I did trade a guy. I don't remember if it was you or somebody else.
Probably me.
But I really liked Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I'm going to tell you right now, if he's there and there's another guy comparable enough from another receiver or running back position, I'd probably pass on Amon-Ra because I don't want him and Laporta on the same team. And I know you like him. So if that helps you, makes you feel comforted, there you go.
Yeah, I wouldn't stack them 2 either. I mean, if it was,
I don't like doing that.
Like if it was the quarterback and the receiver, or a quarterback and the tight end, that makes sense. But
not 2 guys playing the wideout position.
Pretty much the same position. So
if it comes down to like him and somebody else, they're both equal in my mind. I'm going to pick the opposite of what my St. Brown. It might come back to hurt me, but I can't have them both.
Well, it's almost the same reason why I wouldn't pick Garrett Wilson either, because
that's different though, because that's a running back and a receiver. That's not.
But they're both kind of competing for receptions because
I'll tell you what you got to watch out for though, bro. Is Aaron Rodgers? I don't think he's healthy right now.
That's fine because when he was out for the season last year, Hall
Right.
ate it up,
Yeah, and then Hall was the ball hog. But the problem is, can he do that 2 years in a row? That's a lot of miles on other tires,
I think he can because like last year
he's good. He's very good.
Last year was the first season after his ACL tear, and this is his second season coming up. And traditionally, most running backs that come back 2 years after their ACL surgery have prime years and maybe some of the best years of their career.
All right, well, we're at 25 minutes, so let's hit these last two and wrap it up.
Are you in a hurry?
No, I just want to make sure we're not keeping this on for all night.
You waiting for a supper? What are you doing?
No, we've been waiting for supper.
You got Aaron.
I don't want our viewers to fall asleep for 25 minutes when we're talking about Brees Hall running down the street in his new Corvette.
Well, they probably will anyway, but it's okay. All right, so Tim wants to get in a hurry and get going, so that's fine.
No,
the next team is my brother's team, my brother Kevin's team. He calls them the Big Worm. They're named after the
cracks me up.
His team's named after the character from Friday. This dude was like, it's a comedy. I'm pretty sure, but a lot of people.
Kevin's actually had another team name though. Besides that, you do remember this, don't you?
No, actually,
when I played him in the championship, my team name was COVID-19, and Kevin's name was "I'll make COVID my bitch." That was his team name. So Kevin needs to be. We put a little watch on him. He's a troublemaker.
I wasn't going to go there, but his keeper is Puka
Nacua.
Puka Nacua. He got him off the free agent market last year, the waiver wire.
That's impressive. Kevin's smart.
He knows what he's doing, and he's dealing with a little bit of an injury, but they said he'll be ready for week one. If I know Kevin, I think if there's a running back there, he'll probably take the running back.
Well, with having a receiver, I would too.
But then again, if there's not one there, I think he'll definitely go receiver.
He's not going to use his quarterback that early.
Nah. Yeah, I think
I would be shocked.
I would assume he's going to take his running back later. I mean, his quarterback later. But who knows? But I see maybe a top flight wide receiver going his way, or
I could see AJ Brown making it all the way down to Kevin. Honestly,
and if he's there, I think he'll take him.
I could see him making it there too.
I can too, but I think he's he knows his stuff. I think he'll do okay. And then the last pick of the first round and the last keeper is the champion from last year, formerly known as the Donator because he never won a championship till last year. And he changed his name to, was it Space Mountain? So he's got this meme or logo of Ric Flair. So he goes Space Mountain. If you know anything about Ric Flair, he's all about going to Space Mountain, taking ladies there or whatever. Ric Flair is kind of a hero of Alvin, so it works. I get it. So.
You know what? Alvin, when we were in high school, Alvin had told me one time in class that Tatanka would end up being a better wrestler than Shawn Michaels. So if I play Alvin, I'm going to put Tatanka is my bitch to Alvin. Yeah, that's going to be my team name.
Okay. Whatever floats your boat, man. But his keeper is Travis Etienne. And I was kind of shocked by this this choice. He had a choice between him and Isaiah Pacheco. I thought he was going to go Pacheco, honestly.
I didn't. I told you when he said it the other night when we were hanging out that he wanted to try to get a fourth-round pick for Etienne. I don't say his name wrong. I knew at that point that's who he was going to keep, who was trying to get the pick out of me.
I didn't really think about that.
I wasn't going to give him a fourth-round pick for that guy. I mean, I kind of gave a little bit of a bonehead pick away when I gave you the fifth-round pick, but then all the picks that we made ended up balancing each other out. So,
I know.
Because I was missing the pick from a year before with Mark anyway.
Yeah, but Alvin's kind of in a good spot because we do it snake draft style. So
he could pick like literally a quarterback and a receiver, and already have his running back.
He could, but I don't think he'll do that. I mean, he's notorious for taking Josh Allen.
Yeah,
would he take Josh Allen with his second pick in the second round? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because the thing with that is, if he tries to wait till the third round. He's got a long way to wait to get that.
And he ain't going to get him at the bottom of the third round.
I wouldn't think so.
No.
But he's in a good spot. I think he's going to have a good build to his team. Which way he goes, who knows? He could be unpredictable sometimes, so who knows? So, But that's our little chat about our draft that's coming up on Sunday. We're doing it at Wings and Rings in Anderson Township. We'll probably do our podcast from there. We're pretty excited about it. It's like Christmas for some of us old guys, so we're really excited Christmas. About it. But this is Brian and Tim signing off. Tim, do you have anything else?
Tell me about Amarius Mims. Is he okay for the opener?
I heard he might be.
Better be. We're in trouble.
He better be. So this is Tim and Brian signing off for the day or for the podcast, and we'll see you guys on Sunday. Thanks.
See you later.